for you.
Oh, if you do, if you introduce yourself.
Right, Tony, my name's Goulam.
Oh, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Well, I'll give you the word picture. I've got my test coming up in about 2 weeks' time. Well, that's 2 weeks on Monday. And my instructor, we've just been running through the different exercises. And he's gone off sick today. He's got the same car as yours, so I am familiar with the controls of a Fiesta. He said he was just going to have a quick look at my emerging today.
Okay. Excellent.
So, what level am I?
You've got your partly trained. You've got your test coming up in 2 weeks.
Am I partly trained? I'm trained, am I?
You're trained and you've got your test coming up in 2 weeks. Okay.
And what's the subject?
Looking at your mergers.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right, so I'll hand that over to you.
Okay, Tony. Okay, so just a few. If I just get you to set yourself up as normal while we're. Okay, Tony. How would you normally identify an emerge?
Oh, by the you can see houses, or you can see that you can't go any further down the end of the road.
Okay.
And quite often you get a street light, don't you?
Okay. And have you always stopped at emerges, Tony, and looked, or do you just continue driving?
Oh no, it depends on when they're open or closed.
Okay.
You know, if I can see, I keep it going.
Yeah. And does your speed have anything to do with when you're emerging, Tony? Do you concentrate on speed at all?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Excellent. Okay, Tony. We'll drive on. Start the car. And we'll drive on when you're ready, please. Phase 2. So
I can't see through them mirrors.
yeah. And those questions. So if you just tell me what you can see in your interior mirror, Tom.
Nothing at the moment. Oh, I can see the top and bottom of the back window. I can see the edge of my head is straight in the edge of yours.
Okay. And what can you see in the mirrors on the sides?
Oh, I can see the door handles and a bit of sky and a bit of road, and the same with that one.
Okay, excellent. Okay, drive on when you're ready, please, Tony.
And we're going to turn right at the end of the road.
We're going to turn right, Tony. So, what's that up ahead, Tony?
Oh, it's a mirror.
Okay, so just talk me through what you're going to... So, notice that you didn't... Which mirrors do you normally check on an emerge, Tony?
Oh, I'm turning right to check the middle one and the right one.
Okay, so is that before or after you signal?
Oh, before.
Okay. I noticed there, Tony, you didn't actually check any mirrors, and you just popped the signal on. It is important we get those mirrors checked. Do you know why,
and
Tony?
We're going to turn right.
And we're going to turn right, Tony. Do you know why it's important we get those mirrors checked before we signal? Okay. We check the interior mirror, Tony, because we need to know what's behind us and what speed they're approaching us at, and how far they are. And we check the right mirror to make sure that we see if anyone's trying to overtake us up to the emerge or not. It might be a cyclist or a vehicle.
Yeah.
Okay. And if they were, what would be the consequences of us not checking those mirrors, especially the right one, Tony?
I'm not too sure.
Okay. If they tried to overtake us on the right and we carried on with our speed as well, we'd actually force them into oncoming traffic. So if a car suddenly turned into the road, and we're going to turn right, Tony, that we'd actually force them into oncoming traffic. Okay, so it's important we get those mirrors checked, Tony. So I'll talk you through the next emerge, Tony.
Okay.
And make sure we're going to turn left, Tony. So I'll talk you through the next emerge and we'll see how we get on.
And we're going to turn left.
And we're going to turn left. Emerge, Tony. What do you always look out for at emerges? What could be a danger to you?
Anything.
Okay. need to be looking out for these pedestrians, Tony.
Oh yeah, I
At
would
the
watch them.
emerges, yeah, because they can cross from anywhere,
Oh
can't
yeah,
they?
they're buggers, aren't they?
Yeah. So what would you do if one appeared out of nowhere, Tony, and started crossing the road?
Oh, check my mirror and slow down.
Okay. So another reason why those mirror checks are important.
Oh.
Okay. And if they were stood on the pavement waiting to cross, would you beckon them across, Tony?
No, no.
No. Why is it important we don't beckon those pedestrians
They
across,
might
Tony?
not look the other way and get run over.
Okay.
That'd be my fault, wouldn't it?
It would be, yeah. So we
I
don't
see
want that
the
on our
mirrors
conscience.
again,
Sorry.
I see the mirrors again, right?
Okay.
And we're going to be turning left.
So we're going to turn left, Tony. So I want you to check your mirror now, interior mirror and your left mirror. Okay, that's good. And now pop the signal on. That's good.
I'm okay in a second.
Yeah. Okay. So why is it important we check that interior mirror, Tony?
Oh, that distance and speed, isn't it?
Yep. And what are we looking for in our left mirror?
Oh, them anybody overtaking me on the inside.
Okay. Why is it important we look for them?
Well, if I don't see him, I might run him over, mightn't I?
Okay. And if they did try and overtake you on the left, Tony, or on the right, what would you do?
I wouldn't put the signal on, and I certainly wouldn't turn, would I?
That's good.
Am I going to turn left?
And we're going to turn left. So would you let them go, Tony?
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. And what would be the consequences of you not letting them go, Tony?
Oh, squash him, wouldn't it?
That's good. Okay. So if you talk me through which
turn right.
and we're going to turn right. So if you talk me through the next emerge, Tony, and just tell me which mirrors you're going to check and why.
Okay.
Okay. When do you normally check the mirrors halfway down the road, Tony, or right at the emerge? When do you normally check them?
I'll check my mirrors every 5 or 6 seconds.
Okay, that's good. So you need to be checking that interior mirror regularly, don't you?
Yeah.
And especially at the emerge, obviously.
And at the end of the road, we're going to be turning right.
And we're going to turn right at the end, Tony. So just talk me through what you're going to do.
I'm going to check the interior mirror, distance and speed.
Okay.
Right hand mirror for anybody who might be overtaking me.
Okay, that's good. Excellent. So,
And if they were going to overtake me,
yeah. So if they were going to overtake you, Tony, what would you do?
I'd let them go.
Okay. And why is it important we let them go?
Because I might force them into the path of somebody coming around the corner here, wouldn't I?
Excellent. So
And it'd be an accident.
there would be. So I'm going to hand that back to you, Tony, but I will keep an eye on it. Okay.
Okay, right.
So what's the other thing you do after you check your mirror, Tony? After you check your mirrors.
Oh, signal.
Okay. Do you know when you signal, Tony?
Oh yeah, 6 car lengths right.
Okay. And why is it important that we signal in good time,
And we're
Tony?
going to turn right.
We're going to turn right.
So people have got time to react, isn't it?
Okay. And if you signal too late, Tony, what would happen?
Well, if I was coming up to a junction and there's pedestrians waiting to cross, they'd be a bit confused, wouldn't they?
Yeah. And what would be the consequences of that, Tony?
Well, I wouldn't know which way I'm going, so they might just get a bit fed up and just try and cross in front of me. I might actually hit them, wouldn't
So would you say it's important that we give the signal to benefit everyone around us?
they? Yeah.
Okay.
And we're going to turn left.
And we're going to turn left. And what would happen if you were signalling too early, Tony? If you signalled 20 car lengths before the...
They might think I'm turning into my driveway or stopping on the left, wouldn't they?
Okay, and what might a car do
Well,
that's
probably-
behind you?
They'll probably overtake me, wouldn't they?
Okay, and what would be the consequence of them overtaking you, especially if you're not turning and you're carrying on?
Well, if I carry on and they overtake me, I'll probably run into them, wouldn't I?
Okay, that's good. So it is important that we signal 5 or 6 car lengths, Tony. So,
And we're going to turn left.
and we're going to turn left, Tony. So if you talk me through when you're going to signal
I just did.
for an emerge.
Signal.
Yeah.
Why have I got the signals wrong?
Sorry. No, but I will keep an eye on it. Okay.
I'm going to turn right.
Tony,
Yeah.
is it important that we where do you normally stop for the emerge, Tony?
Oh, the giveaway line.
Okay. And is it important that we stop before it?
Yeah.
Okay. What's the danger of stopping after the giveaway line, Tony?
Oh, encroach on the line and might force somebody to swerve around me.
Okay. And if
we're going to turn right.
And we're going to turn right. So if they swerved around you, Tony, what would be the consequences of that?
Well, I might go into oncoming traffic. It'd be my fault, wouldn't it?
Okay. So how do you normally judge if you're how would you know if you're not over the white line or if you're too far behind?
Oh, I've got a reference point.
Okay.
I've seen a merge coming up. And we're going to be turning left at our merge.
We're going to be turning left. Okay, Tony, just lift the clutch up for me, please, a bit. Okay, and put it back in now. That's good. Okay. I noticed that you've put that clutch in far too early, Tony.
Oh, I don't put it in, I put it down.
Notice you put the clutch down far too early there, Tony.
Did I?
Did you feel the car suddenly speed up as we were coming to the emerge?
I didn't notice anything.
No? Okay. Okay, we'll drive on when you're ready, Tony. Yeah, you basically put that clutch in about 6 car lengths just as you signalled. You put the clutch down, Tony.
Alright.
And what you should have felt is the actual car. You should have felt it actually speeding up rather than slowing down.
Alright.
Although you controlled it with your brake, but it's important that we don't have that clutch down too early, Tony. Do you know why that is?
No.
Okay. If we have the clutch down to...
That's an emerge coming up, we're going to turn left.
And it's an emerge coming up. So I'll tell you when to put the clutch down, Tony.
Alright.
Okay. So if you put it down now. Okay, that's good. And select the appropriate gear, that's good. So you notice there, Tony, that by putting the clutch down about no more than 2 car lengths away from the emerge, what we actually do is we control the speed, so we're not increasing the speed up to the emerge, and we're also not damaging the car, and we've got more control of the car as well.
And we're going to turn left.
And we're going to turn left. And obviously the danger of having that clutch down too early is obviously if we start speeding up to the emerge, we're going to be going too fast. So if we did suddenly have to stop for a pedestrian, we would actually we'd be going in the opposite direction by speeding up, wouldn't we? And we wouldn't stop in time. So I'll tell you, I've shown you when to put it down. So if you want to talk me when to put the clutch down on the next one, Tony.
And we're going to turn left.
And we're going to turn left. So if you talk me through the next emerge, Tony, as to when you're going to put the clutch down,
Okay.
that would be fantastic. And I'll keep an eye on it and make sure we're doing it right.
I actually did one that in my early lessons. I actually put the clutch down too early coming up the hill to an emerge and didn't make it, and I rolled back.
Yeah, that's another thing. So
an emerge coming up.
There's an emerge
right.
coming up, Tony. So we're going to turn right.
So if I clutch down a bit now.
Yeah, that's good.
701. Oh, that felt better.
Yeah, that felt a bit better. So we have more control of the car. Now, if we were going uphill to a junction or to an emerge, Tony, and you put that clutch down, what you'd actually have is we wouldn't have enough pace to carry on with the emerge, and we'd actually start rolling back, and then you'd have a problem trying to balance the car up, and you might stall it.
Yeah.
So it's important that we get that clutch down no more than 2 car lengths away from the emerge, Tony. I'm happy you've got that now, so I'll pass it back to you, but I will keep an eye on it, okay?
Yeah, before you pass it back to me, just check my knowledge, yeah?
Yeah, so
left.
and we're turning left. So you've shown me how to do it. Okay, so why is it important that we don't put that clutch down too too early, Tony?
No, because it could make the car go fast up to the junction, yeah?
Okay, and what would be the danger of that?
Well, I could overshoot the white line and...
And what would happen if you overshot and a car came past?
Swerve around me, wouldn't it?
Yeah, and what would that car end up doing?
And we're going to turn left.
And we're going to turn left, Tony.
It could actually hit an oncoming car, couldn't it?
Yeah, so, and we'd cause that by us having the clutch down too early, wouldn't we?
Yeah.
So it's important we use that rule, make sure we judge it properly, okay? So I'm going to pass that back to you.
So how am I judging it?
So how are you judging it, Tony?
Now we're going to turn left.
And we're going to turn left, Tony.
I put it down about 1.5 car lengths before the giveaway line.
Excellent. So if we use that as a guide for all your emerges, Tony, okay?
Right.
So I'm happy you've got that, Tony, so I'll pass it back to you, but I will keep an eye on it, just in case it pops up again, okay?
And at the roundabout ahead, we're going to be turning left and then immediately right. So left at the roundabout and then immediately right.
So we're going to be turning left at the roundabout and immediately right, Tony.
Yeah, just give me one instruction at a time.
We're going to be turning left at the roundabout. And we're going to be turning right, Tony.
And we're going to take the next turning to the left.
And we're going to take the next turning to the left, Tony. So why is it important we don't encroach that white line, Tony, when we come up to an emerge?
Oh, so it's if there's cars on the main road, might force them to swerve around me, and they may go into oncoming traffic.
So that's good. And when do you normally have your clutch down, ready for the emerge, Tony?
Oh, about 1.5 car.
Excellent.
I thought it was okay with that now.
Yeah, no, I was just testing your knowledge.
And the merge coming up, we're going to turn right.
We're going to turn right, Tony. Tony, look towards the right as we're turning right. Okay. You're actually looking to the left as we were turning right there, Tony. Did you realise you were doing that?
Yeah.
Okay. It's important that we don't look to the left and turn right. Likewise, if we turn to the right and we're looking left, it's going to be a problem. If we're looking in the opposite direction and suddenly a pedestrian appears out of nowhere, Tony,
and we're going to turn right.
And we're going to turn right. What would happen, Tony?
I don't know really.
Okay. Well, you'd obviously hit that pedestrian because you're not looking in the direction that the car's going. So it's important that we look in the direction the car's going. So we're going to turn right, Tony. So look to the right as we emerge out, Tony.
Yeah.
Keep looking in that direction. That's good. That way you get a clear view of what's in front of you. So you might get a pedestrian, you might get a car suddenly pull out, or little Timmy on his scooter that might appear out of nowhere.
That Timmy gets everywhere.
Yeah, that Timmy's a nightmare. Yeah.
And we're going to turn right.
And we're going to turn right, Tony. So, and if you hit that pedestrian, it's purely through your observation because you're looking in the opposite direction. So if you were reversing, Tony, if you were reversing back, which way would you look? Yeah. So that gives you an idea of why it's important to look in the direction you're going, because you're almost going in that direction. So you need to be able to make a judgment of what's in front of you. So I'll talk you through. Well, I've just talked you through the previous one, Tony. If you show me which way you're going to look on this emerge,
we're going to turn right.
Then we're going to turn right, Tony.
I'm going to look in the way I'm turning. Yeah.
That's good. Excellent. Why is it important we look in the way we're turning, Tony?
Because if I'm not looking in the way I'm steering, I'm not looking where I'm going, so therefore there could be a pedestrian crossing the road and I'd probably run him over, wouldn't I?
Okay, so it is quite important, isn't it?
Yeah.
So if you were turning left, Tony, where would you be looking just as you were turning?
Oh, to the left.
Okay, and why is it important we look to the left?
I'm going to turn right.
And we're going to turn right.
Yeah, because if I don't look in the way I'm steering, I could run somebody over or hit something, yeah?
Okay.
Or I might not even steer.
Excellent, that's good. So I'll pass that back to you, Tony.
Okay.
Okay, but I will keep an eye on it, okay?
Okay, then.
So when we're at these emerges, Tony, for example, we just turned right there. Where do you look first?
All right.
And then?
Ahead.
And then?
Left.
Okay, and then?
Ahead and right.
Okay, and why is it important we do it in that order, Tony?
Yeah, turning right.
And we're turning right.
Oh, that's the order I was doing.
Okay.
I was looking ahead for pedestrians, isn't it?
Yeah, that's good. So if that pedestrian suddenly appears out of nowhere, we've got time to react.
Yeah.
And we're not suddenly emerging, are we? And what would be the danger of missing that pedestrian if we didn't look ahead, Tony, if he suddenly ran out?
I do try and miss the pedestrians if I can.
Okay. Excellent.
Oh, you mean not seeing them?
Sorry, yeah, what did I say? So what's the danger of not seeing those pedestrians up ahead, Tony?
I wouldn't miss them then, would I? I'd run them over, wouldn't I?
Okay, so it's important
And
that
we're going to turn right.
And we're going to turn right, Tony. So it is important we do our all-round do our observations. So just steer towards the right a bit, Tony. That's enough. Steer towards me. That's enough. Okay, that's good. You were slightly over to the left there, Tony. Just on our approach.
Yeah?
Yeah, you were, yeah. We need to be left of centre when we turn right, don't we, Tony?
Do we?
Yeah. If we're too far to the left, Tony,
Yeah.
and we're intending to turn right, if you imagine a car in front of you that's indicating to the right, but positioned on the left, what would you think? What would you think they're doing? Or they've forgotten to do?
I've forgotten. Cancel indicator, I suppose.
Yeah. So you might try and overtake them on the right, thinking that they're actually going left.
Yeah.
Yet they would continue in their path, and what would happen there, Tony?
Oh, we'd hit each other, wouldn't we?
Yeah. So it is important that we get left of centre, Tony. Do you know how to find left of centre, Tony?
I just thought I knew it.
Yeah. What we'll do is on the next emerge, I'll talk you through left of centre, Tony.
Yeah. So if I go a little bit further over the white
Yeah.
line,
So if you go too far to the right,
Let me
Tony.
finish. Yeah, let me finish. Oh, when they speak, listen to them. Yeah.
Yep.
So if I go a little bit to the other side of the white line, that'd be better, wouldn't it?
Well, no. It's important that we're not too far over the right, because if we're too far over the right, when the car turns in front of us and comes into its own lane, it's actually going to go straight into us because we're in their lane.
Oh, right. Yeah.
And likewise, if we're too far to the left,
Yeah.
so it's important that we get left of centre, so we're not too far to the left and not too far to the right.
Oh, okay.
So, do you want me to talk you through the next one, Tony?
Well, you're the instructor. I'll leave it to you. What do you reckon?
Yeah, I think I should.
Okay,
Yeah.
right.
So I'll talk you through the next one, Tony, to make sure we find our left of centre positioning. Okay?
Thanks for that. Don't want to fail this test.
That's the least I can do. You tell me when you're going to see the emerge, Tony, and I'll talk you through left of centre, okay?
Oh, I can see there's an emerge coming up. We're going to turn right.
Okay, and we're turning right, Tony. So just cover the brake, Tony, it's good. Okay, so just bring the speed down to walking pace and steer towards me a bit.
Right.
That's enough. Steer towards you and just stop there, please, Tony.
All right.
Okay, so we've got no cars behind us. It's good. Put the handbrake on. Okay. So you just tell me where the centre line of this road cuts into the car.
Oh,
there,
just
Tony.
about there.
Okay. Now that's your reference point for making sure that we're left of centre, Tony.
All right.
Okay. Because if we're too far to the right, we're going to be blocking the lane next to us for cars coming in, and if we're too far to the left, people are going to get confused because we've got a right indicator on and we're on the left.
Right.
And why might that be a problem, Tony? If we confuse drivers.
Oh, they might go past me and I carry on turning right and we hit each other.
Okay. And if we're too far to the right, what could potentially happen there?
I blocked the road, wouldn't I?
Okay. So it is important we use this reference point to get left of centre, Tony.
Right.
So drive on when you're ready.
Yeah.
And what I want you to do on the next emerge, Tony, is just talk me through it and show me how you're going to find your left of centre.
Okay.
That's good. So we're looking in the direction in which we're going. That's good.
to take the next turning to the right.
We're going to take the next turning to the right, Tony. You're alright with the mirrors now, aren't you, Tony?
Yeah, fine.
That's good.
Oh, I see the merge coming up, we're going to turn right.
And we're going to turn right, Tony. So just talk me through it. What are you going to do?
I'm going to steer towards me.
Yep.
I'll give myself that reference point.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. So, does that help, Tony?
Yeah.
Yeah, excellent.
I was just winging it before, wasn't I?
Yeah, so why is it important that we're not too far to the left there, Tony, if we don't use that reference point?
Because people behind me will think that I'm just left the indicator on and they'll try overtaking me and I head towards the emerge and we'll hit each other.
Okay, and if we're too far over the white line on the right?
We'll be blocking the road or somebody might fly around the corner and hit me, innit?
Yeah, so if you've got an ambulance or an emergency vehicle that needs to get through there quickly, that will be a huge problem because of our positioning. So,
and we're going to turn right.
And we're going to turn right, Tony. So, I'm happy you've got that, Tony.
Just before you pass it back to me, how am I judging it?
And how are you judging it, Tony?
I'm using that reference point that you gave me.
Excellent. That's good. So I'll pass that back to you, Tony, but we will keep an eye on it for any more emerging rights that we do.
See an emerge coming up. We're going to turn right.
We're going to turn right, Tony. So how are you judging that you're not too far over this white line then, Tony?
Reference point.
Okay, that's good.
God, how can I?
Okay, so how do you judge whether or not you can go or not, Tony, at this? Okay, so if there was a car coming from your right back at that emerge, would you go in front of it if it was quite close? If it was you know 2 car lengths away, would you go in front of it?
Yeah, give it a bit of welly, yeah.
Okay, it's important that we don't do that, Tony. It's important we judge the car that's coming either from our left or right. And we're going to turn right, Tony, because if we try and get in front of it while it's going along and it's too close to us, there will be a collision. So what we're going to do is just keep an eye on this one, Tony. So would you go in? Okay, so
I can go now, can I?
Okay, so what we'd do, Tony, is we'd normally use a walk across rule.
And we're going to turn left.
So we're going to turn left, Tony. So we'd normally use a walk across rule, Tony. Okay. It's called the walk across drive across rule. We're going to turn left again, Tony. And at the next emerge, if you stop for me, and I'll talk you through that.
Oh, okay, right.
Because obviously there are consequences of shooting in front of a car and potentially having an accident. So if you stop at the next emerge for me, that would be great.
I didn't actually pull out in front of anybody, did I?
No, you didn't. But
and we're going to turn right.
And we're going to turn right, Tony. But I just want to make sure you're judging it right.
So you want me to stop here?
So just stop where you normally would, Tony. Okay. So if you felt that we're looking out for those pedestrians, Tony, but if you felt you could walk across from one side of the road to the other, Tony, on that side where those pedestrians are, okay, and we were turning right, okay. Now the car's coming from our right, okay. There's a car coming, so we'll carry on, Tony, and I'll talk you through it. So if there was a car coming from our right, what we need to do is be able to
turn left.
Now we're going to turn left. We must be able to walk from one side of the road, and if you felt that you could do that without that car stopping, swerving, or swearing at you, it means you've got enough time to drive across their path. Whereas if we were turning right back there and there was a car coming from the left, we would have to be able to walk from one side of the road to the other and walk back again. Because not only are we going in front of that car, Tony, but we then have to pick up the speed to make sure we don't get that car to slow down for us. Okay, so we'd use something called the walk across, drive across rule.
Right.
So if we're just crossing their path, Tony, we must be able to walk across.
And we're going to turn left.
And if we're crossing their path and eventually ending up in front of them, and driving in front of them, we must be able to walk across and walk back again.
Alright.
So, what would be the danger of misjudging a car coming towards us and pulling out in front of it, Tony?
Well, I suppose I might force them to slow right down or stop, or it might even hit me.
Yep.
But that's not what I was doing wrong, though, was it? I didn't actually go in front of anybody. I wasn't going. No, I felt I was being a bit overcautious.
You felt you were being overcautious. Okay.
Right, and we stop on the left here.
Just stop on the left.
Right, you can breathe.
Okay. Yep.
Anything you want to say to me?
Do you have any questions, Tony?
Yeah,
on what
yeah,
we learnt today?
yeah. I learned a lot today. Just a little bit confused about. I came up to that emerge and I was turning right, and I was looking a lot because I did pull out in front of somebody once, and it's kind of frightened me.
Okay.
You know, so there was nobody coming, but I just thought I'd wait a little bit longer just to make sure and have about 100 looks.
Okay.
So is that why you were talking about this walk across, drive across thingy?
So you felt you were looking a lot. So when we were turning right, Tony, which direction do you need to be looking at first? And what are you looking out for?
Oh, right ahead, left ahead, right. Looking out for cars, pedestrians, motorbikes, bikes.
Okay. And if you okay, and if you look and it's all clear, but you don't actually go, how might that be a problem to cars behind you, Tony?
Well, I do get people kind of toot the horns and they give me these funny signals.
Okay.
2 fingers, I don't know what it means, but...
Okay, so what might they actually do instead of tooting the horn or swearing at you at that particular...
Well, they have actually driven around me and...
Oh, what, in the opposite lane? Driven in the wrong side of the... on the wrong side of the road and tried to overtake you?
Yeah.
So if they do that, Tony, what would be... and a car came and actually turned into the road, what would be the consequences of that,
No,
Tony?
that has happened. They nearly hit each other.
Okay.
Okay, you can give it a rest now. Alright, well done. Yeah, the point I was trying to get across there was that the walk across, drive across rule, yeah, you were right to go into it, because obviously the fact that I'm not going when I can go, it shows there's a gap in my knowledge about when I should go and when I can't go, yeah?
Okay.
And therefore there's going to come a time where I'm going to go too early, because if I haven't got the judgment there in the first place, when the road's clear, then I can guarantee you that as a real learner driver, because there's a gap in my knowledge,
Yep.
I am going to go